She walks right past you, doesn't even blink, acts like you're a ghost, and you think it's over, right? She doesn't care. She's moved on. She's done. But what if I told you that's the exact moment you should be paying attention? What if her ignoring you is actually the loudest scream for your attention she could possibly give? And here's where it gets absolutely insane. There's one specific situation, one moment where she completely loses control and reveals everything. And when it happens, you'll realize you've been haunting her thoughts every single day. But here's the problem. 97% of men miss this moment entirely. They walk away thinking she never cared, and they'll never know that she was obsessed with them the whole time. I'm going to show you exactly what this moment looks like, but I need to warn you. What I'm about to reveal sounds so backwards, so counterintuitive, that you're going to think I'm making it up. Stick with me, because at the 4-minute mark, I'm exposing the one sign that proves she thinks about you more than anyone else in her life. Even her closest friends don't occupy the mental space you do. And the craziest part, the more she ignores you, the more proof you have. This isn't theory. This is documented psychology that dating coaches will never tell you because it goes against everything they've been teaching. So let's start with the question that's probably eating at you right now. Why would a woman who thinks about you constantly act like you don't exist? The dark psychology behind why she pretends you're invisible. Here's what's really happening in her brain, and this is going to sound disturbing at first. When she sees you and immediately looks away, when she leaves your messages on read, when she walks out of a room the moment you enter, her brain is in full-blown threat response mode. Not because you're dangerous, but because the feelings you trigger are dangerous. Let me explain something most men never learn. The human brain doesn't distinguish between intense attraction and intense fear. Both flood the system with the same chemicals. Both trigger the same fight or flight response. Both make her feel like she's losing control. And when a woman feels like she's losing control over her emotions, she does the only thing that makes sense to her. She runs. But here's the twisted part, and this is where it gets really messed up. The people we ignore the most are the people we think about the most. Think about it. When was the last time you actively avoided someone you genuinely didn't care about? You didn't because indifference requires zero effort. But avoidance is exhausting. It requires constant awareness, constant calculation, constant mental energy. Every time she sees you coming and changes her path, that's a decision. Every time she rehearses what she'll say if you approach her, that's mental real, a state you're occupying. Every time she convinces herself she doesn't care, she's proving the opposite. Because if you truly didn't matter, she wouldn't need to convince herself of anything. And here's what's going to blow your mind. There's a documented psychological phenomenon called thought suppression paradox. When you try not to think about something, you end up thinking about it more. So every time she tells herself, "Don't think about him," your face becomes the only thing in her mind. She's literally creating an obsession while trying to fight one. But you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I know for sure? And that's the right question, because there's a difference between a woman who genuinely doesn't care and a woman who's pretending not to care. And I'm about to show you the exact moment where the mask cracks and the truth spills out. Before I do, hit that like button, because what I'm about to reveal is something I probably shouldn't be sharing publicly the moment everything gets exposed. This will shock you. Pay very close attention to this because it happens fast. And if you miss it, you'll miss the only proof you need. Here's the moment. Another woman shows interest in you. Maybe it's just a conversation. Maybe it's a flirty comment. Maybe you post something on social media with another girl. It doesn't even have to be romantic. It just has to suggest that someone else sees your value. And watch what happens to the girl who's been pretending you're invisible. Her entire demeanor shifts. Maybe it's a look that lasts half a second too long. Maybe it's a sudden coldness toward the other girl. Maybe she suddenly has something to say to you after weeks of silence. Or here's the nuclear option. She reaches out with some random excuse. Hey, I just thought of this funny memory. Can I ask you something random? Did you see this thing? The timing is never a coincidence. The moment you become unavailable, even potentially, is the exact moment her composure breaks. And here's why this is absolute proof. You cannot be jealous of something you don't want. Jealousy is impossible without emotional investment if she truly didn't care. Another woman in your life would be as irrelevant to her as a stranger's relationship status. But she does care. And her reaction, no matter how subtle, exposes everything. This is her brain screaming, "Wait, that's mine," even though she's never claimed you, even though she's been acting like you don't exist. The second someone else might have you, the illusion shatters. And here's the part that's going to mess with your reality. This happens because you've been living in her head this entire time. She's been replaying conversations, imagining scenarios, creating entire storylines about you in her mind, and watching someone else step into that role. She's been secretly fantasizing about triggers, something primal. It's not a choice. It's an automatic response. But there's more. 3 more signs that prove she's obsessed while pretending you don't exist. And the third one is so specific, so undeniable, that when I tell you what it is, you're going to immediately think of someone. Watch for this because it's the smoking gun. 3 hidden signs she can't stop thinking about you. Sign 1. She remembers things you don't even remember saying. You mentioned something random 3 months ago, a story about your childhood, a comment about food you don't like, something you said once in passing, and somehow she brings it up or references it. Or you notice she avoided doing something because she remembered that detail about you. Wait, why would she remember that? Why would someone who acts like you don't exist have a mental catalog of throwaway comments you made? Because her brain has been archiving everything about you. She's not trying to remember. She can't help but remember. Every interaction with you gets stored, replayed, analyzed. Here's what makes this even crazier. Studies show that we remember details about people we think about frequently. The more mental space someone occupies, the more information we retain about them. So, when she remembers something you don't, that's not her being attentive. That's her brain proving you've been on repeat in her mind. Sign 2. Her friends know who you are when they shouldn't. This one is disturbing when you think about it. She ignores you completely, but her friends, they know your name. They recognize you. They exchange looks when you're around. One of them might even say something like, "Oh, so you're the guy." But hold on. She acts like you don't exist. Why would her friends know anything about you? Because she talks about you constantly. She's been dissecting every interaction, asking for advice, describing you in detail. Her friends probably know more about you than some of your actual friends do. And here's the really messed up part. Her friends are studying you. They're evaluating you because she's built you up so much in conversation that they need to see if you match the version in her head. If her friends act weird around you while she acts indifferent, that's not random. That's coordination. She's pretending publicly while obsessing privately, and her friends know the truth. Sign 3. She mirrors your energy the second you pull back. This is the ultimate test, and it never fails. Stop trying, stop reaching out, stop caring, genuinely move on, or at least appear to, and watch how fast her behavior changes. If she truly didn't care, nothing would happen. She'd stay distant. The dynamic would remain the same. But if she's been pretending this whole time, your absence creates panic. Suddenly, she's initiating conversations. Suddenly, she's warmer. Suddenly, she finds excuses to be around you. Why? Because she was comfortable when she controlled the distance. She could pretend while knowing you were still there, still interested, still available. But the moment you stop playing that role, the moment you withdraw your attention, her entire strategy collapses. This is called loss aversion in psychology. We don't value what we have until we're about to lose it. And if she reacts to you pulling away, that reaction is proof. You were never nothing to her. She was just hoping that pretending you were nothing would protect her from getting hurt. But here's where most men destroy everything. Don't do this. Now you know the signs. You've seen the moment where the mask slips. You realize she's been thinking about you this entire time. And here's what every guy does next. He confronts her. He says, "I know you care. Stop playing games. Just admit it." And boom, it's over. She shuts down completely, pulls away permanently, and you'll never understand why. So let me tell you something that might save you from that mistake. Her defenses exist for a reason. She's not pretending for fun. She's protecting herself from something that terrifies her. Vulnerability, rejection, loss of control, whatever it is, it's real to her. And the moment you force her to acknowledge feelings she's not ready to own, you become the threat she's been trying to avoid. You prove that she was right to keep her walls up. You confirm her worst fear that showing you she cares gives you power to hurt her. So, what do you do instead? Here's the counterintuitive move that actually works. You do nothing. You stay consistent. You don't chase. You don't pressure. You don't demand explanations. You become predictable in the best way possible. Show her through your actions, not your words, that she's safe with you. That her walls don't scare you. That you're not going to exploit her feelings if she admits them. And here's the secret weapon: time. Not weeks, months. You let her watch you be steady, be secure, be unaffected by her hot and cold behavior. And slowly, painfully slowly, something shifts. The walls come down. The pretending stops. And the woman who acted like you didn't exist becomes the woman who can't imagine existing without you. But there's a timeline you need to understand. And if you mess this up, if you rush it, you'll lose everything you've been building. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you next determines whether this ends with her finally letting you in or walking away forever. The truth no one tells you. Look, I know this sounds insane. How can someone who ignores you be obsessed with you? How can indifference be proof of interest? How can pushing you away mean she wants to pull you closer? But that's exactly how female psychology works when the feelings are real, when the stakes are high. When the fear of getting hurt outweighs the desire to be close, she's not ignoring you because you're insignificant. She's ignoring you because you're terrifyingly significant. And if you can see that, if you can read the signs, if you can respond with patience instead of panic, everything changes. You're not trying to trick her or manipulate her. You're creating the conditions where she feels safe enough to stop pretending. And the moment she stops pretending, that's when you realize you've been living in her head this entire time. Rent-free, constant, unavoidable. Because you can't pretend someone doesn't exist unless they exist way too much. If this resonated with you, if you've been dealing with a woman who acts exactly like this, drop a comment with the word "thank you" so I know you finally understand what's really happening. And smash that subscribe button because I'm breaking down psychology like this that no one else will tell.